So happiness from codependency to empowerment wisdom rocks. This chapter will offer insight on how to unleash the burden of worrying about others, enabling, and codependency. In her book, Melody Beattie, 1986, asked, "Is someone else's problems your problem? Have you lost sight of your own life in the drama of tending to someone else's? You may be codependent." The challenge in delving into this arena is the need for knowledge and wisdom to know the difference between legitimate compassion, which means sympathetic consciousness of others' distress, coupled with a desire to alleviate co-suffering, codependency, martyrdom, and enabling. They look and feel similar to one another. Compassion promotes effective communication and mutual respect, while codependency and enabling can destroy the foundation of healthy relationships, self-sufficiency, and self-esteem. Might you have a problem with codependency, enabling victimhood, or martyrdom? Ponder these questions. Do you take on more than your share of responsibilities in your relationships? Are you the person that is always the rock in your family or with your friends? Do you feel like you are being used or taken advantage of? Have other people expressed that people take advantage of you? Do you feel guilty saying no? Do you feel the need to please people? Do you have the need to rescue or be the hero? Do you help others so that they will like you and validate you? Do you feel you have a choice to help or not help? Do you often put the needs of others above yourself? Do you feel bitter and resentful after you help someone? Do you live in a constant state of worry about other people? Do you avoid letting people experience the natural consequences for their actions or behaviors, cover up their mistakes? If you have answered yes to some of the above questions, you may want to consider looking at your subconscious motivations for what you are doing. Ask yourself where you get your self-esteem and self-worth from. There is a fine line between being a responsible, caring, loving person, or a person who may be struggling with codependency or enabling, which can be detrimental to both sides. As a hypnotherapist, I came across the most incredible hypnosis script by Thomas W. E. Budge, 2013, from South Africa, who has won many awards for his writing. He wrote a hypnosis script called River Rocks. I found his use of river rocks as a metaphor to be profound on many levels. He generously authorized the use of this inspirational metaphor for this book. A metaphorical journey to empowerment. I invite you to go on an imaginary metaphorical journey up a beautiful mountain. Imagine that you are carrying a backpack and, as you are walking up the mountain, you become acutely aware that the backpack feels like it is getting heavier and heavier. This causes you to feel more fatigued with each step you take. However, you keep plugging away. When you finally reach the top of the mountain and take off the backpack, you immediately notice how much lighter you feel. You have been carrying this backpack your whole life. You never noticed just how heavy it was until you took it off your back. You then take a seat on the bench that was made just for you. You empty the contents of your bag on the ground in front of you. To your surprise, there are rocks in your bag. They are river rocks, and they all contain wisdom. Each rock represents a life lesson or challenge that one needs to learn or experience to grow emotionally and/or spiritually. They may represent anger, fear, depression, guilt, shame, helplessness, codependency, addictions, and low self-esteem. Or the rocks may represent strength, courage, steadfastness, permanence, solidarity, growth, confidence, love, faith, or charity, etc. Every rock has value. As you look more closely, you notice that there are rocks of many different shapes, sizes, and colors. The rocks have come from different rivers and different streams. Some of the rocks are your rocks, and they hold the key to the wisdom and the lessons that you need to learn in life. However, upon closer inspection, you notice that you have been carrying other people's rocks. They may be the rocks of your parents, lovers, children, friends, siblings, bosses, exes, or co-workers, etc. Remember, all the rocks contain wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to think and act using the knowledge, experience, and insight that you have gathered in your lifetime. Wisdom allows you to tap into attributes like unbiased judgment, compassion, empathy, high ethics, and morals. And in the larger picture, self-transcendence, and the transmuting of your ego state into the total acceptance of the what is in your life. To carry another person's rocks may be harmful to both you and the other person. When you are carrying someone else's rocks, you are depriving them of the wisdom that is acquired by learning life's lessons and the attributes of that wisdom. When you carry someone else's wisdom rocks, you are sending them the conscious or subconscious message that you do not believe in them or have faith in their ability to solve their own problems or to be self-sufficient. You may be essentially telling them that they are not capable of self-sufficiency. You are also giving them the disempowering message that they are not good enough. This lesson is vital for everyone to learn, especially parents. Your rocks are the only rocks you should carry. When this principle is fully integrated into your understanding, you will alleviate the stresses that are often brought on by other people's issues or drama. When you fully integrate the fact that some help is good help, you will be free of the angst, guilt, and shame that once plagued you. But when you fall victim to the manipulation of others who are not taking responsibility for their lives, your help may be detrimental. You can help someone up the mountain, but you must not carry them. A good analogy for this is the proverb, "Give a man a fish, you will feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." Commit to yourself and your loved ones that you will only carry your own rocks. Case study: Joyce is a divorced mother with a beautiful daughter whom she loves dearly. She was seeking hypnotherapy because her fears, anxiety, and anger were getting out of control. She reported that her daughter had been struggling for years with a severe addiction. When she was in the throes of her addiction, she would use guilt and shame to manipulate her into paying for her housing, food, clothing, and medical expenses. Her 30-year-old daughter told her, "I would not have become an addict had you been a stay-at-home mother, not divorced my dad and put your career above me." This mother was carrying the rocks of guilt, shame, anger, and codependency. After doing parts therapy, she was willing to flip the script and reconcile with the part of herself that felt guilty and full of shame. She knew she did the best she could, raising her daughter under the circumstances. She knew in her heart that she had worked hard to provide for her family. She gave herself the gift of forgiveness and was willing to leave her rocks of guilt, shame, and anger on the mountain. However, the mother continued to carry the rock of codependency a little longer, until she fully understood that some help is good help, and some help is detrimental. One day, she reported that her daughter had been clean and sober for a lengthy period when she received a call stating that her daughter needed a place to stay as she was being kicked out of her home. The boyfriend confided that it was because she was caught doing drugs again. The mother reported that she was tempted to let her daughter move in since she knew that the most dangerous time for people struggling with addiction was when they start using again after a long period of sobriety. This is because they assume that their body still needs the same number of drugs to get high as when they were actively using. This is when most overdoses happen. However, she knew that if she gave in to her daughter's request, she would be enabling her daughter once again to continue her destructive path. After she shared the metaphor and symbolism of the rocks with her daughter, she summoned up the courage to say, "I love you enough not to carry your rocks. I have faith and trust that you have what it takes to get yourself back on track. If I carry your rocks, or try to carry you up the mountain, I would be doing you a big disservice. Here is your rock back," as she literally and figuratively gave a rock to her daughter, promising never to carry her rocks again. She expressed sorrow for having carried them in the past when she had only intended to help. She was surprised when her daughter understood the metaphor completely and told her that she would do her best to learn the lessons that she needed to learn. The mother suggested that her daughter work with this writer to help her reconcile her own issues on a subconscious level, which she did. The mother realized that she had been carrying her daughter's rocks of guilt, shame, addiction, low self-esteem, and self-hatred, and that they were not her rocks. They were not her lessons that needed to be learned. By carrying her daughter's rocks, she deprived her daughter of the wisdom that she needed to gain by carrying her own rocks. The mother recognized fully that every time she stepped in and tried to help her daughter by carrying her rocks, she was essentially or subconsciously telling her daughter that she does not believe in her or that she can take care of herself. Thank you for listening to So Happiness.